Good morning. My name is Vivian Megan Tory. I'm a former candidate in the last election. I ran with the BC Party. I'm also a 60 Scoop survivor. I was invited into Atakaku First Nations in 2014. In 2018, there was an accident. It was the Brendan Hennekew accident. They accused my daughter, who was 16 at the time. They threatened us, attacked us because I defended her. They attacked me at ACFS. It was all Hennekews. It was all these Hennekews from Atakaku Cree developments. Ray Hennekew, Richard Hennekew, all these Hennekews. I was attacked at ACFS. Anita Hennekew's uncle is Ray Hennekew, so they were covered up there. They were covered up when I was abducted in 2021 from Shellbrook to RUH. Now I figured out how Merriman was the minister. He covered it up at that time for his business partners. I did more research on Merriman. This is what I found. I Googled him. This is what I found. He runs a management company here in Saskatchewan. This management company supporting healthcare, Indigenous and community-based organizations through government relations, stakeholder management, and strategic decades of experience directly with government decision makers and community leaders in health, government relations, Indigenous partnership. Healthcare organizations, institutions seeking to innovate patient care models and secure government funding for critical infrastructure, Indigenous nations and groups, communities working to advance self-determination through strategic. So when Lani Hennekew, who do you think is telling Lani and Larry to say all these things in public settings? They are meeting with these management agencies behind closed doors, like they met secretly with the RCMP. Government relations. It's all right here in their own fucking writing. So tell me they didn't cover up and they didn't have the means to cover up and they abused their policy and then they covered up. He is an accessory to the crimes that were placed against me and my daughter, a 16-year-old child in Atakaku by these families. This was the leadership at the time. That's Ben Hennekew in the left top corner, Burton Hennekew, Clifford Hennekew, Uton Hennekew. Bryce Eisbister is known as the Bat because he follows those Hennekews. James Eisbister was married to Tracy Genro. That's Chief Larry Hennekew's sister-in-law. Carmen Little is the CEO at ActDev. Right there, 7 people. That's the quorum right there. Stanley Sasakamoose follows them. Eliza Sasakamoose is the chief's mother-in-law's sister, so she's like an auntie-in-law to the chief. The only people that really stand away from the mandate at hand is Pat and David, and they have to watch themselves to an extent. This was the quorum during all the attacks out in Atakaku. This is the O&M director that covered up the Kendall Eisbister thing, who was in justice at that time. And then also helped cover up the Brendan Hennekew thing. He was not called at the inquest. We know that they meet secretly with justice here in Saskatchewan in Regina. So yeah, you'll see all of our assailants on this list. Lenny Sasakamoose is also on this list. This is their own evidence to how they set us up and abused us and how Lenny's getting paid to abuse me too. So again, that is Lani Hennekew. He was the trustee at ActDev during my attacks. That is him. This was most recently, and he's talking about the drugs and addiction. They're perpetuating it, and they have the Saskatchewan government and their help. And I think for Merriman to be that minister and to have this management company, and all of these contracts are opened up straight to Atakaku, and now they're coddling Lani Hennekew. I think this is disgusting, and I don't know if that's fair to the other bands who might have put in tenders for this place too, right? So Canada was just recognized for crimes against humanity since this international forum. So that is being looked at now. There is investigations happening now. And I am a 60 Scoop survivor. I am part of the acts of genocide here in Canada. I've been explaining about it on my pages and what Saskatchewan did with this First Nations community because I'm a 60 Scoop, because I'm non-status, and that's the reason why I am a 60 Scoop, right? So these people are very sick. And I'm finding how they're connected and how they've helped each other throughout and who holds careers and what. So again, that's Carmen Little. He was the board of directors at AC Development during that time. He sits with Richard Hennekew, Ray Hennekew. He was also the board chair at ACFS during the time of our assaults and attacks on my child and myself. He was the one who told me that he knew I couldn't get a lawyer, and he knew how fucking protected they are under the Saskatchewan government. That's why he talked that way to me. And he told me, do whatever you need to do. And he knows that I can't afford a lawyer. And they all kept saying it, right? And they knew that the Saskatchewan government, with all their positions and their education and their management offices, they own newspapers. They're part of the everything. This is the force I've been up against, and I'm finding out, and I'm pulling at all these little threads, and I'm finding out how deeply connected they are. 2021 to 2025, this is what Carmen Little was doing with his time when he was not sitting doing business with our Saskatchewan government. So our Saskatchewan government is affiliated to these bikers somehow because Carmen Little would bring them in, and that's the wheel of business. So, I wonder about, never mind. So in social services, this is who I've been dealing with recently that doesn't want to talk to me, and I made all these reports about ACFS to him, to Merriman, to Mikowski, to Tim McLeod. I talked to Lori Carr at the beginning of the month. I sent it to Carla Beck, AFN, Mandy Galmasti. I sent all of this information, these crimes, and nobody has answered me. This is Terry Jensen. He is the Minister of Social Services currently in Saskatchewan. And like I said, they've withheld my SED benefits, SED benefits for May and June now. And they've come up with all kinds of reasonings and excuses. And I've been okay for the past 2 years, right? So it's this worker that fucked everything up, and they continue to ignore me. So I did the discoveries, and I'm wondering why they won't give me these investigations. Terry Jensen was voted in 2020, right? So all these attacks started 2021. These cabinets were well aware. I don't care where he was placed. Other words, they knew. They all gossip. It's like a big band office there, right? So when you Google Terry Jensen, this is on this portfolio, and this is where I get my information from. I've been Googling these people, and it's been kind of a sad story, isn't it? Like, good for you guys in your careers, but you guys are obviously covering up for your partners. So he's Standing Committee on Human Services, Crown and Central Agencies, and the Economy, right? So he'd be pushing this deal, right? And he's probably extremely pissed off because I just realized how many times I got in the way of Sask Party and their business through forestry, through this acute care center. And it wasn't me. The Hennekews put this attack on me and attacked the wrong person. And yeah, so they're all pissed off at me. And these people have never met me. He also served as legislative secretary to the Minister of Social Services and legislative secretary to the Minister of Immigration and Career Training. So we are umbrellaed under immigration and career training under the SED program. That's where I found all that information is in the SED handbook. With the refugees and the immigrants. So funny that, he sat with both these secretaries. So he was placed by Scott Moe, right? He first entered cabinet in May 2024 as Minister Sask Procurement Minister responsible for Global Transportation Hub Authority, Provincial Archives of Saskatchewan. So he would have also been probably part of that forestry thing because I was digging into the Heritage Acts and stuff too and thinking about how we could save that site, right? Terry currently serves as Minister of Social Services and Minister responsible for the Saskatchewan Housing Corporation. So, convenient that Lanny Hennekew is in Saskatoon, right? He's the minister in Warman and Martinsville. And Lanny Hennekew is in Saskatoon trying to buy up apartment blocks and properties. Together with his wife, Angela Terry, own the Clark's Crossing Gazette, so a community newspaper covering the Martinsville-Warman area from its establishment in 2008. He was a small business owner-operator for nearly 29 years. So again, he's sharing his expertise with our business people. He's past president of Saskatchewan Weekly Newspapers Association, I'm going to find out when, and past president of Ad Canada Media Incorporation. Prior to his 26 years in the community industry, he worked on air. So how do you think Attackagoo got into the radio stations? In addition to his professional life, Terry is a former Kinsman Club member. That's great. Retired hockey, Saskatchewan Hockey Association. So a tie into the hockey season. And hockey is big in Attackagoo. Auxiliary constable with the RCMP. Holds a private pilot's license. Interesting. Anyways. That's Terry Jensen. That is our Minister of Social Services. That's why he has met me with all kinds of silences. It's scary to know that I've been media banned and the police have put forth attacks on me. And we know that the chief met secretly with the RCMP here in Saskatchewan. They've been ordered by Regina to stand down and leave those Hennekews alone. And that came from 2 staff sergeants in the Attackagoo community. Thank you.